repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. Yeah, in the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize God in you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. Yeah, we come together. We come together. In the name of love, every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of God and each other. Yeah, take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. All right, you guys, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And welcome. So we in for a treat today? Yes. Oh, it feels so good to be inside and see people in faces. Oh, you feel the energy. Keith, you couldn't think of a better person to have his energy start off. Oh, so welcome. My name is Nancy Woods. I'm the assistant minister here. And Reverend Mike is on a well-deserved vacation. Yeah, he needed a week off. So he's been very busy in the last 2 years, keeping things going. So we welcome all of you, because I know y'all are going to be treated well with the message today. And I'm actually the facilitator and the so the candles are lit already. So I'm going to just read the Lighting the Flames of Faith. It's one of those things that Reverend Maureen started us doing. So it's a call to service. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unified nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. So we lit the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We lit the second candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We lit the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We lit the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We lit the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We lit the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We lit the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We lit the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We lit the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we lit the 10th candle for those who are as yet unaware of spirit in their lives and for the space we are holding for them here at the center, online, and in our hearts. And we lit the healing candle, and we ask you to please put into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
So we recognize this flame is that divine presence that is in all of us. And in this recognition, we sense the knowingness, the awareness that infinite intelligence that created all things is being expressed right here, right now, in each one of us. As we embrace this idea, embrace this consciousness of unity, of oneness, of knowing that each and every one of us is this perfect presence of life showing itself. We welcome this opportunity to embrace each other's company and individualization of that one presence. And we know and understand that this is a divine opportunity. We open our hearts and our minds to allow ourselves to feel the richness that will come from the message that has been shared. And we know that we are fed so deeply that a new awareness awakens itself. For this is an infinite presence, and there's always newness. So we accept this, and we let it sit in our awareness in such a way that we just anticipate the greatness to spring forth into expression. So with great joy and a sense of, thank you, that I invite you to join me in knowing these truths as we say together. And so it is. It is a good day today. And as I look at these faces, I don't know if everybody from the church knows these people, but I know them, and I'm saying, ew. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for joining us. And when I was telling Reverend Mike that well, if it keeps coming, I want to be on. He said, well, you have to clear it with who's supposed to be there. I said, okay, it's cleared. So, but what I wanted to share with you is a little note of awareness that showed up for me recently. A lot of times, my messages are picked up. You pick them up from something that comes on television, or something you read, or something somebody says for you. And a friend of mine said something to me about understanding, and she's great for understanding. And I said, "Oh, you have to delete the need to understand." And I said, "Oh my goodness." So then we got in a whole discussion about deleting the need to understand. And I realized that a week before, another group of my friends, we have a wise women group, were discussing, I need to let go and stop trying to fix, what I'm doing. And I could not grasp that. And all of a sudden, the light bulb said, bang! I don't need to understand. I just need to know that the spiritual presence of life is doing the work through me. I don't have to figure it out. I really don't have to figure it out. Letting go of that history is sometimes challenging, but we don't have to figure it out. And it's so freeing. I just felt like, I remember bouncing around the house thinking, I'm free. I don't have to make this right. I don't have to make this change. I don't have to correct anything. I can just be. As long as I stay with the idea that the spiritual presence is making the decisions, and I just open it up and let it say what it needs to say. Oh, it's a nice way to live. I just kind of figure out. It lasted for a while. I'm trying to expand it, but it did last for a while. It's rich enough for me to want to boot some more. So I'm grateful for that. And I appreciate the idea that when I'm traveling on this journey, like we all are here, that we help each other come back to that path. And it's a statement here, a conversation here, or somewhere, but somehow that we manage to tap each other on the shoulder and remind each other that the spiritual presence of life is in charge, and we can just let it go and let it happen. And the wonder of it just continues to unfold. I just love the idea of it. And I want to thank all of y'all for being here and allowing me to share my little idea with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello over here. Hey, you guys from behind the stand. Hello. It's my pleasure to get to sing for you guys today. I have two really wonderful songs. This first one is called Rainbow by Casey Musgraves. It's a modern song. It came out, it's new, and you should hear what the kids are listening to. Okay. as it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore, and it's hard to breathe when all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising waterline. Well, the sky is finally open, and the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella. Well, darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors. Yellow, red, orange, and green, and at least a million others. So tie up the coat and take off your coat and take a look around. 'Cause the sky is finally opened, and the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. So hold tight to your umbrella. Well, darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Tie up the coat, take off your coat, and take a look around. Everything is alright now. Well, the sky is finally opened, and the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Let go of your umbrella, 'cause darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Yeah, there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's Jason, wonderful.
Thank you.
I love that song. That's a rainbow over my head.
Yeah.
Okay. I accept it. Oh, thank you. I'm supposed to do some announcements. I'm trying to figure out where they are. Oh, here they are. Okay. There's a Zoom meeting for fellowship right after the service at 11:45 today. And I'll also say, if you need prayer support, you would find a practitioner online at CSL-LA. Usually on Sunday, it's Sherry Gideon, who is actually a practitioner that we have in Arizona, and she does the online. The fellowship is with Reverend Elizabeth Snyder today. There is a bereavement support group online at 1 p.m. today. And coming up, we have a class by Reverend Nikki, one of our newest ministers, Living Intentionally in 2022. And think that's it. You know, I forgot to actually say, we not only welcome all of you and Keith, but we welcome you to take advantage of our online stuff and to tell the people out there. I forget sometimes that they're that we're on screen, and I'm supposed to tell them welcome and we thank you for listening to us. I was excited about you, Keith. That's it. So I didn't even introduce myself to the people out there. And I am the assistant minister. And we welcome you for joining us online. So I'm sure that you got some people out there online too. And thank you for joining us. And I think the congregation song?
Or Declaration of Principles first.
You got me excited, man.
It happens. What can I say?
So these declarations of principles, say them with me. Oh, we believe in one universal spirit manifested for all incarnated in us. We believe the spirit is in the two and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in eternal goodness and the eternal loving kindness and the forgiveness of to all.
Feel
And I was
free to
supposed to
sing
ask
along
you
with
to
me.
stand, so why don't y'all stand and
Yeah.
sing the congregation song with me?
Let's all stand and dance to this one. Heaven's inside of me, yeah, heaven's inside of me. The spirit and nature within and without. Now that I know that God's right here, right now. Yeah, heaven's inside of me. Yeah, heaven's inside of you. Yeah, heaven's inside, yeah, of you. The spirit and nature within and without. Now that you know that God's right here, right now. Yeah, heaven's inside of you. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. The heaven's inside of us. The spirit and nature within and without. Now that we know that God's right here, right now. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. Heaven's inside of us. The spirit and nature within and without. Now that I know that God's right here, right now. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. Yeah, heaven's inside of us. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I turned this over to somebody else. Oh, you know, it is a pleasure. We really, I mean, I knew him from youth group, but I got to know him a lot better because when we had our young adult group here, he was very frequently the speaker. So we saw him a lot. And I remember thinking, he should have a church. I even told Maureen that.
Maureen told me that many times.
And so, you all that are blessed to be a part of his center are blessed because he's a powerful speaker. I mean, it's almost like spirit just naturally comes. I mean, it's beautiful. And I just love it when you do that. Just let it flow. So, he was the director of youth group for, I can't remember how, many years, okay?
17.
17 years. Okay, and he's currently the minister of the LA Church of Center for Spiritual Living. Oh, yeah, I'm dating myself. So let's welcome this beautiful soul. Welcome, Keith Cox.
Thank you. Thank you, my beloved Sister Nancy. That's Reverend Nancy Woods, everyone. She forgot to tell you who she is. So I'm going to put that right there. Good morning to you all. What a pleasure it is to be here with you and spend time together in this space. There's thumbtacks rolling off here. And a big hello to all of you that are with us online, that are joining us, whether it's through the Center for Spiritual Living Granada Hills, which I know is a live group, but also our beloved community, the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, who has joined us in both this virtual space and in this physical space. I was telling Dr. Maureen when she walked in, and that this became a bit surreal earlier for me because it's my first time being at a podium since COVID hit. And so I'm just going to take it in for a second because the emotions just rolled up in me. And not only the physical aspect of being here with you, feeling the heaven that is within each of us, but hearing the beautiful music by Jason singing Casey Musgraves. Thank you, Jason. Most beautiful. And I love her and her music, and you did her quite proud. But to be here in this space, as referenced by Reverend Nancy, in so many ways, this physical space is home to me and home to my heart. When I first became a minister in 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. My beloved soulmate, Dr. Maureen Hoyt, was the minister here, and she would invite me out to speak. And I feel like I cut my teeth here in many ways on this very podium. So to me, I know that there's no mistake through the divine making itself known by means of me and each one of you that are part of this experience, both in the room and in that virtual space, that the kickoff for this next stage of my journey of expressing myself is, as a minister, should happen here. And so on behalf of me and all who get to benefit from that, I want to thank Dr. Maureen Hoyt and Reverend Mike McMorrow for doing an intervention, basically, and telling me, get your B-U-T-T back on the P-O-D-I-U-M. And so here I am. So with that, I want to ask you all a question to kick off my time with you together. And you know what? I was going to try to monitor so I didn't speak over time, but what the hell? Put a going in my pocket. Who wants to experience change in life? Raise your hands. And even virtually out there in the world, if you want to experience change, raise your hands and keep them up high. You know, it doesn't matter if you got BO. It's okay. It's the morning time, right? It's good. That's all part of God. Keep them up. I didn't say put them down. Now, here's the next question. Who actually wants to change? Keep your hands up. So many of your hands went down, and even those of you that kept them up, I can feel the ambition. You can put them down now. I'm starting to get the waft of your expression of divinity. The thing for us to remember is that we must participate in that change. I know that personally I'm experiencing change in this very moment because, as I said before, this is the first time that I've been back on a podium. And for me to have this particular experience, which has been called forth not only by Reverend Mike and Dr. Maureen and from myself and each one of you, but from that place within me that Jason spoke about called heaven, that is saying there's something within me that is calling me to express myself in a greater way than ever before, not judging what was before as good or bad, but that deep yearning, that deep calling to let that divine energy that is within me out to play. And that way to play for me is to express it through the gift, One of the gifts that's been given of me is to share my wisdom, my heart, my soul, my energy. But to say yes to this wasn't necessarily that easy today, for I had to be willing to engage in myself changing. And in fact, I'll make a commitment to the audio booth right now. I'll make a change to stop hitting my microphone. How about that, right? But what I had to do was move beyond the comfort zone of the last 84 Sundays, and 82 of those have been for me behind my little television studio that I've created in my office in my home, of looking at a screen and running the slideshow on the other screen and having this virtual experience with those that I love and making a difference into the world through the realm of technology as opposed to the physical connection of hand to hand, heart to heart, soul to soul, eye to eye. And it means that we are all, if that can be done in that way as well as it can be done in this human way, it's a reinforcement of the very things that we teach in the teachings of the science of mind, as evidenced by the declaration of principles, that there's one power that exists within us and as us, and it's expressing itself through us. And that is true for us whether or not that we are looking at it through a computer screen. And thank God, literally, however you defined that power, that technology existed when this pandemic hit, right? What a blessing and an opportunity that we've had to move into that realm as we've chosen to grow together. And so I will declare right here and right now for the congregation known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles that let's all open our mind and our heart and our soul as to what the next dimension, expression can be for when we decide to come back together and be physically together as we choose to grow together. Because what's required of each of us when we step into these changes of life that are being called forth, that we've all said yes to, whether we're aware of it or not, the reason I say we've said yes to it is because we've all agreed to participate in our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. That's the journey of the metaphysician, to stand back and let it be doctrinated for us what we're supposed to believe, how we're supposed to express, and how we view life. But to open ourselves up, as Reverend Nancy said, to and get rid of the need to try to understand and be willing to let the power itself make itself known to us and through us, and then reveal itself through us in a new way. And that happens through the act of letting change do its thing through us. What we must be willing to do if we decide that we want to be an awakened being on our journey of spiritual awakening is to dig deep. The theme here this month is to dig deep. For me, I've had to dig deep a lot over the last few years, and certainly in the last 18 months and even in this particular experience here, because I made a commitment to myself when I said yes to being the spiritual leader of the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And that was to see and engage in every experience that came my way relative to ministry through the lens of a spiritual experiment. Of what do I really, really, really believe? Do I believe what I stand up and speak about? Do I believe what I teach? Do I believe what happens in counseling sessions that I have? And am I willing to let those beliefs evolve into a higher framework, a higher vibrational frequency? As Dr. David Hawkins says in the Map of Consciousness, am I willing to move to that realm of my divine nature and let that be the vibrational frequency from which I live life? And if I am willing to do that, the only way I believe that that can happen is if we're willing to then dig deep into our soul and to rid ourselves of anything and everything that is contrary to our divine nature. Our divine nature in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, known as practitioners of the science of mind, is that we are imbued with, at a very minimum, the qualities of peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Now, I know for the CSL-LA peeps who are watching online and those that are here in the room, I know that you think, Jesus Christ, not just the man on the cross, but the concept of the energy of pureness in life itself is that he says it every single frickin' Sunday. He talks about them. And I do. And I will continue to do so because it's important for us to ask ourselves when we hear peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, are we allowing ourselves to engage in those through an intellectual approach to life? Or are we allowing the resonance field of those qualities of the divine that exist within us to rise up and then let us know about them, express them, experience them, literally be them in a new way, and in so doing, attract back into our world more and more and more of that. For that to happen, and it is being called for it to happen through all of us. I mean, think about it. 18 months ago, we needed a wake-up call to such a degree a pandemic hit us. What did we learn from that? How did we grow from that? Now, personally, I'm still growing, but what we're called to do right now is to dig deep. And so I invite you to create a visual in your mind of what that looks like. In researching for today, I pulled up two different visual images of digging deep. And one is, if you're a canine lover like I am, think of your four-legged spiritual offspring up to their shoulders in the ground, digging, maybe for a bone, maybe for a tunnel, maybe to escape, maybe to get a prize to bring back to your loved one. That's one expression of how that expression of spirit digs deep in their life on their journey. Another could be someone with a shovel. It doesn't matter exactly what it looks like. What's important is that we all decide that on this journey, we're willing and are willing to commit to doing the actual digging itself. The definition of dig deep when researched is this: to exert oneself mentally, physically. It's that act of understanding that Reverend Nancy goes, I'm done with that concept, right? The other is to then search thoroughly in life, right? And ask ourselves, well, what are we searching for? Well, here's the definition that I like in regards to this, and it's from this metaphysical website called GloveWorks. Do with that as you want. But it's this: to dig deep means to make an effort with all of your resources. Digging deep refers to your ability to look inside yourself and see your potential, and using all you have to reach your goals, to live out your values, and to overcome obstacles. Now take a deep breath in, whether you're on screen or in person. Let's all take a deep breath in together. And exhale into your mask if you're in the room. And let's hear it again. To dig deep means to make an effort with all of your resources. Think of your resources in life, physically. And then think of the great resource of all. Digging deep refers to your ability to look inside yourself and then to see your potential, and using all you have to reach your goals, whatever you define them to be, to live out your values and to overcome obstacles. It refers to your resiliency and your ability to bounce back after setbacks. Digging deep requires a growth mindset, a willingness to get uncomfortable in order to change and improve. Is today the day that you're willing to change and improve? And let's just take the improvement word out of it and say, are you willing to get uncomfortable in order to change and evolve? Because I believe what we're called here to be are conscious evolutionists. So if we're here today to dig deep, what are we here digging for? Well, I like to take a play on the Ernest Holmes quote, and I believe it's Ernest Holmes. If not, Dr. Marine will let me know later. I think that what we're digging for is the thing that we're digging with. Is that Holmes? Yep. Holmes, what I thought, right? And that is the thing itself. What we're digging for is the thing we're digging with. In other words, what we're digging for as practicing metaphysicians is a greater awareness of our awareness. That really is the journey of the metaphysician, is to become more aware at all times of our awareness. Now, today may be the day for each and every one of us, or certainly one in particular of you, that you just had that light bulb moment go off of where like, oh my God, yes. It is important for me to not just be aware of life, not just be aware of my ability to co-create the things I desire to experience and express in life, not just to be aware of the physical elements of life, but to become aware of my awareness of them. It's through that fine-tuning of our awareness that we then get the opportunity to lean into our divinity. It's as we embrace our divinity in a greater way, with every thought, with every action, with every reaction, with every interaction with life itself, then our awareness, our consciousness begins to grow. It begins to reveal itself as itself, with whom its qualities, once again, are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Okay, that was not on the notes, right? But what's important for us to remember, the great Deepak Chopra tells us that all that we have in life is awareness. He says that's all there is. Ernest Holmes and his posse said it was all consciousness, right? In the modern world of metaphysics, we know that to be true, while we also know that's not enough. It's true on one level, and one of the greatest metaphysicians I know of all times says that it's important for us to live in a world consciously and awakened to the world of and. Dr. Maureen Hoyt. That we can be aware, and we must be aware of our awareness, and know that consciousness is all there is, and to know that we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, and the power is infinite by nature, and we individualize it, and we attract into our world the very thing that we know ourselves to be. When I hear you, when you make sure you heard me say that right, we don't attract into the world that which we are. We attract into our field of experience that which we know ourselves to be. And we live in a world that is ripe with opportunity to become more aware of our awareness every single day. And we do that by digging deeper and thinking higher. Dr. Holmes tells us that we should daily feel a deeper union with life. He didn't say we should know that there is a deeper union. He says every day we should feel a deeper union. In other words, get in touch with it at that place which is transcendent of the intellect. He says it's a greater sense of that indwelling presence, a greater sense of that which is of the seen and unseen. At the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles, our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. That spiritual awakening is going to feel and look different for each and every one of us. Also, our theme for the month is the multidimensionality of oneness. Very light topic. And one way that I was reminded of that was I had this quote to share with you today for us to use as an instruction and a remembrance of how we are to engage in life. And it's from the great teacher, Winnie the Pooh. And he says that life is a journey. I say he. I don't know what gender Winnie is actually. So let's just say they said, life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. Now, some version of that I read on Facebook today by my beloved that I keep referencing, that was written by Soren Kierkegaard, who may be the original and Winnie stole it, not giving credit. But think about this today as we all agree to living and digging deeper than ever before, that the life that we have before us is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. And the way that we get to have some dominion, if you will, over our experiences is by becoming in tune with our awareness of how we express our divine nature. For our experiences are a result of how we express ourselves, awakening to spirit within us. Well, what is a spiritual awakening? I love this definition. To spiritually awaken is to remember that who and what you are and have always been is the infinite, immortal sea of consciousness, one with all that exists, not as an intellectual understanding, but as a real and tangible experience and lifestyle. A real and tangible experience and lifestyle. So today, I invite you, I encourage you to join me on the journey of digging deep in a new way, to make an effort from this moment forward to use your resource in a new way. And that resource is God. Not an anthropomorphic God of some power in the sky, but that indwelling presence that you feel when your heart beats. It's that presence that brings the joy out in you when you laugh. I guess you're coming back to the podium tells me my time is there. Oh, no, that's good. I don't know what time I started. I don't know what time I was supposed to end. I was about to ask how I'm doing. But let's all take a deep breath in and feel that presence. Jason, can I have some piano music, please? And I invite us all to close our eyes. And to see ourselves going deeper into our soul as we dig deeper. Deeper than we've ever been before. Maybe going so deep that we see some ancestors that we've never seen before. Experiences that are in the subconscious aspect of mind that we were unaware of. And those experiences that have brought us joy. And let's envelop those in a field of gratitude. Feeling it, whether you're in the room or in the presence of your own private environment. And to know that it's there. This energy exists. That's the sea of consciousness that's referenced. And so placing one of your hands on your heart, feeling your heart beat, let that be the reminder of the ability to access this depth of soul. Your soul, my soul. For the truth is, it's only one soul. And then while feeling this heartbeat, you can take your other hand and let it rise to the sky. Letting that be a reminder that we're called to think higher thoughts. Just as if we're riding a slinky, going deeper into our soul to connect to the only thing there is, while climbing higher and higher and higher to a higher framework of mind. Remembering that a very basic thought pattern, we get to choose to think of peace, of power, of beauty, joy and light and life and love and wisdom. All of the qualities of the divine that exist by means of you and me, expressing that one soul, making a difference on the planet. And so let's all say yes out loud. Yes. To being more awakened to our awareness of our awareness on the journey, not needing to understand how or why, just being present in the presence as we ride the ride. Bringing those two hands together back in front of our heart in prayer position. We lean forward with gratitude and say, Namaste, thank you. And so it is. Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, how am I going to follow that? Broken like the first morning, blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, oh, praise for the morning. Praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the breeze new for Sunday from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, eating supply. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like this morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them stringing you fresh from the word.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You good, man? Wow. Thank you, Keith.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to listen to it again. It's online, by the way, because there were a couple of some gems in there, man. Real gems. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you. And I love how you can just move all around the stage and just let it flow. Thank you. So it's time for our offering. Oh, I'm supposed to tell the people. I keep forgetting about y'all out there. The people online, I think that, thank you for your donations and thank you for all your gifts. And if you're online, you would go to the website. It's up in the corner to donate, and it would take you to this PayPal page, and you can either pay from there. If you're on your phone, you want to scroll down, and you can do that. And if you're on Facebook, I think this is Facebook, right? And it's in the corner there where it says PayPal. So, or if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, this is our address, so you can mail in our business and our donations. And it's going to do our offering song. So if you have a chance to, if you want to offer something, we ask you to come and bring it and leave it in the basket. And he's going to sing the song.
Spirit gives to me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives to you, Spirit receives through you, Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit gives to us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
And so let's take a moment to bless the flow of good that has shown up in this basket. One of the greatest metaphysicians of all times, Albert Einstein, says everything is energy. It's not philosophy, it's physics. So I invite you, as I once again want you to use your hands by rubbing them together and feeling the energy of good. Let's put it over this metaphorical and literal expression of good being flown and shown to us today, knowing that we bless all that is coming in physically in form here, but also that which has been given technologically and electronically. For spirit knows not of the form, for spirit is transcendent of form. And so we live in a universe that is governed by law. That which we give returns to us multiplied abundantly. And so we bless this, knowing that it returns to the Center for Spiritual Living, Granada Hills, multiplied abundantly, so that it may then be put to use of good, the divine in action, staying in the flow of that good, then returning multiplied abundantly there. And those that receive it also then allow it to be a blessing, and they give, knowing that it returns to them multiplied abundantly. That's the way life works. And so it is. You're welcome.
All right. Please join me in singing the peace song. Please stand and join me in singing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Go in peace.